Hello and welcome to the Herzog Leadership Series. My name is Riley Stapleton and today I'm joined by Max Lafferty, Herzog's Vice President of Rail Testing. Max, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Well, we're just going to start off with just kind of the story of your career. Walk me through, early stages, education, how you worked your way up and to the point that you're at now.
Early in my career, I graduated from the University of Central Missouri and then had a 4-year internship with the Air Force. Learned a lot there. Then I got into safety consulting, and then I got picked up by Herzog a little over a decade ago. Joined Herzog in the safety function, and then from there slowly got into rail testing and learning under Rick Ebersol, Dave Denesia, Troy Albert, and those folks that have been here for a while. And yeah, they kind of took me under their wing to show me what rail testing's about, and been here ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say has enabled your rise throughout your career from where you started to now getting into a leadership position?
I can't really pinpoint it to one thing. I've been fortunate to have some really great mentors at Herzog. And, those are folks that are in, the senior leadership positions. They're always willing to, it's an open door where I can ask any question, small or big, and they're always willing to give not only advice, but they give advice quickly. So it helps you be able to solve the complex and messy problems that we're faced with on a daily basis. So that's definitely been helpful, but I would say equally as helpful has been what I would consider the mentors that are people that are on my team. So this would be the field supervisors, the account managers, our quality team, our chief operators in the field, our folks in the shop, our shop technicians, our field mechanics. Those guys know a whole heck of a lot more than me when it comes to a lot of the things that we do. And I really lean on them very hard and lean on their expertise. And I think that's, one of the hallmarks of Herzog Services is that, we've got the right people in the right seat of the bus and everyone does their thing. And when everyone does their thing, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, those, not only a senior leadership, but I really want to emphasize the people that are around me today. Those people have made the difference in my career on where I am today.
Do you think you have any innate skills or abilities that have helped you?
Being competitive. I don't like losing, but losing is good, though. It's losing or failure; those are good too, in terms of growth and whatnot. But I would say working with a sense of urgency is helpful, and making sure you're stewarding your team to do the same as well too. One of the things that we always try to break down within Herzog Services is any barriers to making decisions have to be eliminated. And that's the problem with a lot of big organizations, is that there's too many layers and the decisions need to happen fast, but it gets bogged down by the machine, right? So my job is to remove as many of those layers as possible. So whenever the frontline employees have an issue, they have a set of solutions that they can make the decision on, and they have the responsibility and then the ownership to make the call on, that they just go for it. And then the less layers you shave off, the more not only resilient, but the more you're able to respond to whatever's at stake. Most of the problems we face, we talk about, they're very predictable, but they're very complex and messy. It's not just like this perfect casebook you read in a textbook. There's always nuances to all the situations we're faced with. So to make sure that everyone's equipped with the right skill set to make those decisions on the front line, I think it's extremely important.
Being a leader in your position can be difficult. So can you just talk to me about just some of the most difficult things that you have to deal with in your position?
Yeah, there's a handful of difficult things I have to deal with in my position. I think one of the most important things that I've always need to be self-aware of is that I'm subject to the same biases that my team is subject to. I think it's very dangerous to think that you're not going to fail or you're not going to lose, and it's the humility aspect of being humble, of saying, hey, you're going to make mistakes too, even if you're in whatever position. And to understand that's important, but it's really important to make sure the folks that are around you are empowered enough to tell you like, hey, you're not looking at this correctly. Here's your blind spot. You didn't see this. And so I always ask my team to say, or to tell me, if there's something I'm missing, maybe you're not comfortable mentioning it in a large group, but I'm fortunate where the supervisors and account managers, even chief operators, they'll pick up the phone and call me. It's like, hey, we're doing this. Have you thought about, X, Y, and Z? And it gives me a new perspective. And then at that point, if that's actually the right way of doing it, then it's my responsibility to get back out there in front of it and say, hey guys, I made a mistake here. And then say, this is the right way of doing it, and make sure, hey, Riley brought up something I never thought of. We need to do this. And that's the piece I think is really important as leaders, that we need to be comfortable doing that. It's hard, but you've got to do it. It's very important.
I think that's huge for a team from that aspect, seeing, if you're on the outside looking in, someone else brought up an idea and it was received positively.
Oh, yeah.
So you can learn that, but then also if you're owning your mistakes, I think that, can trickle down and reduce any fear of failure. So you're like, oh, even if people at the top are humble in their mistakes and just learn from it, why do I need to worry about making a mistake?
Yeah.
It's just the trickle-down effect.
It's a trickle-down effect. Talking about failure, and failure it's a funny thing, right? You could look at it as, I'm a complete loser or, whatever, but not really, because I guarantee you the best things that you and I have learned over the years are the mistakes we've made. And we're like, I'm not going to do that again, right?
Yeah.
And, like one of the things we talk about in our R&D team is that I always ask them like, hey, I need you guys to fail faster. And the whole idea behind that is if you fail faster, the idea is that you'll be evolving quicker. You'll have new iterations. You'll have I don't want version 1 of the product. I want version 10, and I want it fast. Show me how to get to version 10. Because version 1 and 2, they're good, but you're not seeing the real world application, and we need to get to version 10 as quick as possible. So I asked those guys to fail faster, and they do break a lot of stuff, and it's very expensive. So they're taking it, their own way. But no, those R&D guys, they do an incredible job in the progress that Johnny and Andy and Jake and those guys have made in the last, couple years on the progress. It's fun to watch, and how they're organizing it and how they're doing it now and implementing the best practices from like railroad services side. That's so cool to watch from the side, and it worked the way we thought it would. So that's fun.
They're supposed to break stuff in a controlled environment, so nothing breaks out there.
Yes.
On the railroads.
Yeah, they do a good job breaking stuff, and it's very expensive.
Yeah. No, I think it goes into that competitiveness. Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants to win, but losing is learning.
And what's crazy is that if you're not failing, or if you're not losing, then that's probably a good pause point for one to step back and say, we're probably not pushing the boundaries of what we can do. If we're not making any mistakes, that means we're not probably trying anything new. Half the things that we try, whether it's new process systems, they don't work. But we uncover usually another way of looking at it, like, yeah, that didn't work, but at least we learned this. And that's important too, that that should be a telltale sign. If you're not failing at anything, that you're probably not pushing the boundaries of anything.
So, reflecting back on your career from when you started to where you are now, what continues to motivate you to pursue excellence?
What continues to motivate and pursue excellence? We talk about the journey to excellence. One of the beliefs we have is the pursuit of excellence. Well, the two words that really stick out to me when we say that is journey and pursuit. And why those stand out is journey being that it's never ending, and pursuit meaning you have to fight for it. It's no guarantee. Excellence just doesn't, like, you wake up, right, and you're like, I'm going to be excellent today. Okay, that's good self-talk, but like, what actions did you do that day to contribute to it, right? So when we talk about journey to excellence or pursuit of excellence, I think it's really important to have the right competitive mindset of, okay, well, what am I actually doing today to maximize my time to get a little better today?
I feel like there's been a lot of good, nuggets of advice in here, and it's gotten a little philosophical, but if there was someone in the beginning of their career, about to start their career, and you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say work with urgency and take pride in your work no matter what it is. The taking pride in your work is a big one, because if you take pride in the work, whatever work that you do, and you're going to be the best at being, an assistant operator, best at being a copywriter, best at whatever, you're going to be confident. You're going to take pride in your work. And if you take pride in your work, that quality of work that you produce, whatever that looks like, that represents you. So stand behind the work you do, and everything else falls in place. And I would say work with a sense of urgency, because people like to work with people that get shit done. And then also take pride in your work, no matter what it is. I think those are things that have served me well over the years. And fortunately, people have instilled that into my work habits. And hopefully, people around me are doing the same. And those are, that's some free advice I could give.